This printer has a feature so broken it's almost unusable, and frankly I recommend you buy literally any other printer over this one for this one reason. What is this feature? Well, I'm going to share that with you soon, because first we need to talk about what this printer got right and what I love about it. Because part of the reason I'm so damn angry with this machine is it's otherwise pretty fucking good. So we're going to print up some stunning 75mm display pieces here today, paint them up, and then we'll dive into the absolute shit stain that is this printer's. This video is brought to you by all the wonderful folks on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and YouTube. Members enjoy a library of extra videos, a wonderful Discord server, and a bunch of incredible STLs. In fact, the very STLs you will see printed in this video. I'll talk more about the models available for members later on. For now, I just wanted to quickly say thank you to everyone who subbed. You're keeping the lights on for this channel, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. How much better is this than a sponsored message, right? There is so much to like about this printer. Really, there is. The build quality for the most part is very premium and confidence inspiring. These thumb screws on the vat feel great, and the handles too are a super nice touch that I found myself quickly falling in love with and longing for to see on my other printers. Their usefulness really shines when you want to empty the vat. This task normally feels kind of clunky and awkward with other vats, but not here. These are a really nice touch. Which is kind of the main thing I want to talk about here for this video, is user experience. And really, user experience is the thing I care most about when I'm reviewing a 3D printer. How much or how little do these printers get in our way when it comes to printing miniatures? Ergonomic and thoughtful design where any part you regularly interact with is intuitive, comfortable, and convenient, to me, is king. I'm talking swingy doors, big confidence-inspiring grips and latches like on the Saturn II or the Haygear's Ultracraft Reflex. This stuff is brilliant. Software and firmware too, like Anycubic's RERF feature that lets you print the same part multiple times, each with a different exposure value in the one print, is just amazing for dialing in any resin quickly. Smart features that save us from ourselves, stuff like resin runout detection or pressure sensors that can help prevent the build plate slamming a rogue chunk of cured resin through the FEP and LCD. The reason I care really only about the user experience is because, frankly, all the printers now are putting out amazing quality miniatures. Like, I'm not even impressed or concerned about quality prints for any printer that comes through here. Whether it's a $200 budget Anycubic or a top-of-the-line whiz-bang Haygear's machine, every print is an amazing quality print when it comes to resin printers these days. You have to bust out a macro lens and pixel peep to spot differences, so who cares? If you're buying a printer for miniatures, any machine printing at 50 microns or better in each axis is going to absolutely blow your mind and be more than good enough for your tabletop minis. This technology is like magic. And producing miniatures that look this good at home for just a few $100 is never not going to be incredible, unless the user experience is bad. So anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, wasn't it? It's kind of a heavy printer. The Whale 3 Ultra continues to delight with its all-metal construction, beefy dual linear rails and a ball screw, an incredibly quiet operation. But this printer starts to get in your way before you even turn it on, and it does so in the form of requiring assembly. Maybe I'm just spoiled, but I'm pretty damn used to resin printers coming out of the box ready to go. This one, however, you frustratingly have to decipher these instructions, then wrestle with the components to get the vat handles and swingy door installed. Okay, so the vat handles were super easy and not a problem, but my god, the swingy door made me want to put this printer through a fucking wall, and we haven't even got the thing powered on yet. I can understand, FDM printers coming from factory, partially disassembled, because then they can be stored more compactly to reduce on shipping fees, but here, this makes no sense at all why this couldn't have been done at the factory, and spare us all the frustration. This swingy door is easily the poorest implementation for a swingy door I've seen yet too, which is bloody unfortunate. The Haygear's one is pretty good, and the Creality one I'd say is the best. Those friction hinges are just so great. But this one's just flapping in the breeze. And, well, be careful, because if you're not, this will slam shut and break your fingers, it seems. Those of you in colder climates will be delighted to know that this printer has a heater built in, and similar to Anycubic's recent M5S Pro, this heater is angled downward toward the vat and should do a good job of keeping things hot down there. Except no, because this printer switches off once you start printing. I gotta give credit to Faux Hammer here, because I did not notice that at all. And the only reason I learned about this is because I went and watched other reviews of this printer to see if anyone else had similar experiences with theirs. And while I was there, I did spot this comment from Nova3D explaining why they have programmed the heater this way, and they certainly make an interesting case, that print failures due to low temperatures are primarily related to the adhesion of the first layer to the build platform, and that continuous heating systems are unnecessary and may cause damage to the LCD and other components. So fair enough, But I can't help but wonder, if the environment is cold enough and the print duration long enough, couldn't you have delamination issues later in the print as the flow of the resin drops with the temperature? Anyway, the only other frustrating stuff I ran into was their touchscreen, which is hot garbage and fails to register touches very frequently, and even outright freezes sometimes, and your only recourse then is to hard reset the printer. There's also no RER feature, no surprise there, really. Pretty sure Anycubic is the only one still doing this. Yes, there is the UV Tools method, which works for some printers, but that is clunky, not exactly intuitive to set up, and frankly, it's my job to get frustrated with these machines' shortcomings so that manufacturers will do better to improve them, and not lean on fixes from the community. But if you're interested in how to do that, I would refer you to Slice Print Roleplay's video. Tyler does a great job of explaining how that works. Because there's no RER feature, I had to wait 4 hours while I dialed in my resin using the cones of calibration. The way I did this was I printed the first at 2 seconds, and then when that failed, I ran a second at 2.5 seconds, and then when that also failed, I went up to 3 seconds, which was a success. I then tried my luck at 2.75, but that was also a fail. So I ultimately landed on 3 seconds for this particular resin on this particular machine. Don't copy that. See my comprehensive guide for resin 3D printing to better understand what the hell just happened. This resin, by the way, is Sunlu Toughness. I'm keen to test this out because I recently fell in love with Anycubic's Tough Resin Ultra, and I just want to use that for everything. But if this is as good, then that's a huge win because this one is more affordable. Oh, one last UX gripe before I forget, and that's Nova3D's own slicer, Nova Maker. It's so riddled with frustrating gotchas that I'm just going to refer you to my first impressions video for this machine if you want to see in detail why that slicer sucks. The Wi-Fi implementation is actually almost good because it takes place locally on your home network, no remote server required, but falls short by failing to do the one thing it's supposed to do, which is let you send prints to the printer without getting out of your chair. In that video, I also talk about why I think the resin reservoir feature is more trouble than it's worth, if that's at all interesting to you. Right, so with the Sunlu resin dialed in and my files sliced, I can now get to the fun part of this video, printing and painting. This machine just worked, and the prints look stunning, as expected. Oh, did you notice how I didn't have to level this machine at all? Pretty cool, huh? It just comes straight from the factory leveled, so you newbies don't have to worry about that. Nice. For this video, I really wanted to try my hand at 75mm sculpts, and thanks to these epic STLs, there was no better opportunity than right now. So I chose to print the 75mm dwarf from Imp3D Sion, and the drow with the pole arm from DM Stash, and they all turned out perfect. Everything was sufficiently supported, and the only one I struggled with was the big feature rock that stands behind the dwarf. Imp3D Sion really anchored that thing down with supports, which, hey, in this case is fine, because the peel forces for this rock would have been pretty extreme, and you wanted to avoid support scarring all up and down the rock face, so supporting it just from the very bottom and supporting it thoroughly there wasn't a bad call at all to ensure that this thing printed well. So I appreciate that. I gotta say, this tough resin from Sunlu is bloody awesome. My previous video, if all has gone to plan, should have been a bit of an exploration of this and other tough resins, so check that out for more analysis, but suffice to say, I'm a fan of this resin, and it's reasonably priced I think compared to similar resins at just $36 USD per liter. So I will happily leave an affiliate link down below for this, unlike the Whale 3 printer here. I said at the start of this video, I recommend you buy literally any other printer over this one, and I will get to why, I promise. But if you will please just allow me a few more moments of everything going smoothly, with no bullshit from the printer. I just need to savor this experience. These are the good times. Riding high on the success of my first plate of models, I sliced up another. This time we have Caius Praetorian from Artificer Mini to complete my trio of 75mm sculpts. And with the leftover room, I decided to print off one of these epic jet bikes from Moid, and while we're at it, some donkeys too. Caius appears to have been supported extremely well and printed beautifully.
Coming away from the supports with ease, the model looks great. Same goes for the jet bike. This thing comes in a boatload of pieces, but thankfully Moid includes the most detailed and thoughtful assembly guide with this release. Honestly, it just blows me away. I think I fangirled hard in the last video too over this jet bike kit, and god damn it, I'm going to do it again here. I mean, just look at this PDF. This is fucking beautiful.
Uh-oh. I see failed donkeys. There should be a donkey there.
Regrettably, it looks like our donkeys haven't fared quite so well. But honestly, I'm not surprised at all. Just glancing at these pre-supported files, you should be able to tell these are woefully under-supported and never stood a chance. I'm amazed that we got this much donkey at all, honestly. Still though, this was a good opportunity to make use of the VAT clean function built into this printer, and it works as you'd expect. Snowball, thank you so much for donating your donkey pack. I hope you don't mind me boo-hooing the supports. I really love these models and I'm very grateful. Okay, so I have so much painting footage. Everything up to this playhead is the video so far, and then all of this is the painting footage after it's been cut down for the usable clips. So I think what I'll do here is I'll do a quick breakdown of the approach I took to paint these miniatures. But what I'll do is I'll release all this footage with commentary as a bonus video for channel members sometime early next month. To start off, I primed these minis in black. This is a scale 75 primer, and it's quickly becoming a favorite of mine for how well it behaves with the airbrush. Covers super well and has a really nice matte finish too. I then gave all the models a zenithal highlight, and for the time being I kept the dwarf detached from his base so I could easily get to everything. For each of these models, this process is basically just a slap job. I'm using Army Painter speed paints and mostly the newer V2 paints. Given these are larger 75mm models, I wanted to put a little more effort in here and push myself just that bit harder than I normally would for a paint job, so I tried my hand at wet blending in a couple of places, and the results I think were actually pretty good. The dwarf's beard got a nice blend from light to dark, and the drow's cloak a very striking transition of green to blue. I did struggle a little with the fast setting nature of the V2 speed paints here, but with a bit of persistence the end result wasn't too bad. The back of the cloak here turned out the best I think, and annoyingly, despite filming a lot, I can't seem to find the footage of that glorious blend. Recently I picked up some more metallics from Vallejo's metal color range, specifically the gold and copper metallics, and I gave both of those a thorough testing here, applying a gold to the drow's chest armor, pole arm, and a few miscellaneous details, and the Praetorian's armor all got coated in the copper metallic. This one in particular I think looks really good, whereas the gold I felt was a bit greenish and not particularly striking. I will say however that these paints flow really nicely and cover brilliantly, and the dwarf's armor got a coat of silver from the same range. I then applied Sand Golem over most of the metallics, which is a V1 speed paint that I'm quickly running out of. Oh god. And it was really cool to see how the different metallic base coats looked from underneath of this coat. The dwarf's weapons got a coat of Gravelord Grey. Of course, to really sell these armor panels and weapons as metal, the final step was to go back in with pure silver and just add some highlights here and there. This is my favorite way to paint metallics now. Like, you can be kind of rough and carefree with this, and the end result is still really cool, I think. For edge highlights, I basically just mixed the speed paints with white paint to get my highlight colors, and spent some time applying these to as many upward facing details as possible. This is something else I find I don't really think too much about. I kind of just go for it and see what happens. And just like with the metallics, I find this extra step really helps elevate the paint job and creates a more striking end result. Since I was edge highlighting, I also tried out doing some simple crisscross patterns here and there. This is a really nice, easy, and fast way to break up large flat surfaces and create more visual interest. The dwarf's weapons got a bit of this treatment, as well as the cloaks on the drow and swordsman, and yeah, I really love how this turned out. These are just very fun to look at. Finally, I just finished them off with a bit of basing. This is Mediterranean Soil from Geek Gaming Scenics, and it's my first time trying this one out, and man, I think this one has gotta be a favorite. It looks so good here on these bases, and the only thing remaining at this point was to black out those rims. Oh, and I wasn't very happy with the drow's head, so I quickly gave her a makeover with whatever paints I had left over on the palette, and I think this new look contrasts better with the rest of the model. What do you think? So I don't know about you, but these models I think look so bloody good. I am just so happy with the paint jobs here, and the Sunlu resin gives me confidence that these pieces can stand up to any knocks or tumbles that they might encounter. Of course, the print quality from the Whale 3 Ultra is amazing too, no surprises there. And I just want to jump in here and thank Imp3D Sion, DM Stash, and Artificer Mini for donating these miniatures, and just remind you guys that you can get these right now on the Once in a Six Side Patreon, or buy me a coffee, or by clicking that join button down below this video. And you're also going to get all of these incredible models too, from LV427 Designs, Moid, Productions Diracia, Snowball Sculpts, Dungeons and Dreadnoughts, Synergy Studio, and Toady Design. We've got incredible FDM terrain that prints without supports from LV427 and Toady Design, a bunch of fantastic and characterful minis from Dungeons and Dreadnoughts, Productions Diracia, and Moid. That jet bike, by the way, I didn't finish painting it or basing it, but here it is. Look how cool that is. There is also, of course, this amazing tank for your games of Grimdark Future, and this really cool mech from Synergy Studio, and last but not least, the absolutely super fun and adorable donkey pack from Snowball Sculpts. I can't thank all of the artists enough who have donated their files. I hope this arrangement is working out for you, that you're enjoying getting to see your models here on this channel, and I hope these shoutouts are sufficient to compensate you for your generosity. So let's wrap up this review of the Nova3D Whale 3 Ultra. You know how this thing came leveled from the factory and everything was sunshine and rainbows? That was fun, wasn't it? Well, I think I know why they level it at the factory. This mechanism is without a doubt the worst I've ever encountered, and an absolute pain in the ass to try and get level. This printer coming factory leveled isn't a selling point, it's a bloody band-aid for a shockingly bad design. Let me explain. First up, you can't level the build plate with the vat installed in the printer. Every other printer I've ever encountered, even the fancy Haygears one, lets you level your build plate without having to take out your vat and clean the build plate. So that's already super annoying. But then comes the real bullshit. Nova3D took the traditional paper leveling method and put it on hard mode. Rather than explain to you how impossibly fiddly and frustrating this experience was, just look at this footage from Nova3D's own video explaining how to perform this procedure. It reminds me of my old Ender 3 V2 with the wheels under the bed at every corner that you got to adjust, which, if you haven't had that experience, you can count yourself lucky. It's rarely something someone nails first try, and typically you have to do it many times to learn what that right amount of friction feels like. So when your build plate goes out of level on your Nova3 Whale 3 Ultra 3D printer, I hope you nail this process, because if you don't, guess what? You gotta clean your build plate again, take out your vat, and repeat all this bullshit until you get it right. And that's exactly what happened to me, and after the second time I failed to get it level, I just gave up, cleaned up the machine, and now it's going back into the box it came in. This is a user experience so bad that despite everything else Nova3D get right, makes this printer a hard pass. Leveling your printer is just something you're going to have to do from time to time, and a machine that makes an otherwise quick and easy process a frustrating and involved one is just not a machine that I can recommend. There is, however, one saving grace for Nova3D. At least, that's what I had hoped to say here. You see, once I'd cooled off after my initial experience with this printer, I couldn't let it go. I couldn't just leave it at that. Am I really gonna let this printer defeat me? Am I really gonna give up on it just like that? I don't think so. So I gathered up all my patience and resolve and readied myself to take one final crack at bringing the White Whale's build plate to ground. I figured this would be as good an opportunity as any to try out another resin, and so I decided to give Nova's very own TGM Miniatures resin a go. And well, right off the bat, the smell of this resin is particularly offensive. And that's coming from the guy who drinks resin. This stuff started to stink out my studio so badly and so rapidly, in fact, that I rushed the vat outdoors while I installed my fume extraction system.
Nice. It's like a murder scene.
I should have done this earlier, to be fair, as resin safety should be the #1 priority here, and yours too. But yeah, I was lazy as the Sunlu resin smell wasn't very noticeable to me at all. Also, quick tangent, a bunch of you were quick to tell me recently that those little carbon filters we're starting to see included with resin printers are only effective at reducing smell, but actually do piss fart all in the way of reducing VOCs. And the video from Keep Making was cited a couple of times, so that was super interesting, and I think that just goes to show an extraction system like this is always going to be the best solution if you have to print indoors. And I recommend you get yourself something like this installed if you haven't already. Do check out my video on this particular system for more info. Right, so since I was using Nova3D's own resin here, I skipped calibration and just plugged in their numbers that they had provided directly into Nova Maker. I prepared my bed level test print with my trusty adhesion rafts and sent it to the printer. Now, for the moment of truth, was I successful? Had I finally mastered the Whale 3 Ultra's finicky leveling system? Could I now just please resume printing cool minis so I can tell you more about this TGM miniatures resin at least?
Right, well, I don't see a single fucking adhesion raft on that build plate. Screw this printer, I'm done. Seriously, that is a shockingly bad leveling system. Holy crap. You know, I had hope. I had hope. I thought maybe at the end of this print, I'd be switching on this camera and I'd be saying something like, ha, 3rd time's the charm, look at that. That all I had to do was just take it slow, approach the process with a clear and level head, follow the instructions to a T, and I would nail it, and it would be smooth sailing for the rest of the video, and I could print a couple of things in that TGM resin and give you my thoughts. But nope. And hey, maybe I'm missing something really simple here, but it just seems like whatever that right amount of friction for the paper is just continues to elude me. I give up. I give up. And I stand by everything I said already. This thing coming from the factory pre-leveled is simply a band-aid for how shit a system this is, and how unfriendly this is to users, especially if you're new to resin printing. I've been resin printing for ages at this point, and I've used a bunch of different systems, and I've seen all the complaints that people have for the different kinds of leveling systems, and even the most notoriously difficult one, the Elegoo spring-mounted ball screw system, even that is so easy to level, honestly. The fault with that one is it's easy to knock out of level if you don't tighten those bolts up enough. But here, this one, there is just so much ambiguity around the process. It's incredibly fiddly. You have zero confidence when you've done it, and yeah, this is a user experience so bad. I can't recommend you buy this printer. And that resin smells so god-awful as well that I'm not sure I can recommend it either when it costs the exact same amount as the Sunlu resin. And okay, it looks like it has really good properties. Like, take a look here at Nova3D's own promotional video for it. Yes, this is advertising material, but if we take it at face value, it looks incredible. But the smell, my god, the smell is so bad. I think the Sunlu one is going to be a better option.
Right, I don't know how to end this video. Actually, yes I do. Yeah, let's do something fun. Let's have a look at the paint jobs from the Once in a Six Side Discord members. We had another print and paint this month of all these cool models, so I'm keen to see what you guys did, so let's have a look. All right, look at that. Oh, and I gotta thank Newman here for compiling all of the entries into this single thread for me. Newman, you're a wizard. Newman is like running the whole Discord, and it's great because I suck at Discord. I don't know how it works or what to do with it. So I'm really grateful to you, Newman. But all right, let's have a look. So from Mr. Frankenfurter, holy shit, that is sick. That is the, what's it called? Ah, all right, that's the Vampire Night Lord. Very nice, dude. Is this contrast paints? Or like, have you layered up on all of that musculature? Very cool. Looks nice. And the base too. Big fan. Well done, Mr. Frankenfurter. That thing is positively horrifying. Oh, we got some donkeys. Hell yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Did you have to re-support them yourself, or did you have more luck with the included pre-supports? I'd love to know. That's nice. I love that. Oh my god, yes. And then from Newman, Hell yeah, dude. Wow, you went all out on this donkey. That is so cool. Oh, I love it. That is brilliant. Good job, Newman. You even did the eyeballs. Incredible. Yeah, you had to re-support this, right? There's no way you were able to print this with the included supports, right? Love it. Although I think you're modeling for advantage there. That donkey has got the unreasonably high vantage point, so got a docker point for that. Oh, no way. This is also from Newman? Hell yeah, dude. Look at that. That is awesome. This is like a foam puff thing. Love the weathering on that too. That's really nice. So cool. There's so much character in this sculpt. I absolutely love it. Reaper, go away. No one asked. Really nice color combo. Like the yellow and the red and the blue. Looks great, man. Good job. And then, oh, no way. From Wavo, we've got the rat. What's it called? The rat monster thing. That's incredible. Holy shit. Look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like glowing purple pink. That looks so good. Holy shit. That's also from Artificer Mini, I believe. Let me just double check. The Rot Rodent Troglodyte. Absolutely amazing paint job, Wavo. That looks so good. Now I want to go print. I want to go print that off now as well. Fantastic. From Renmo, we've got the, what's it called? These are from Dungeons and Dreadnoughts. The Steelhorn Shock Troopers. They look awesome, man. They remind me of, and you did the other one too, the Spring Heel Devastator. Very nice. Yeah, these remind me of, just because of the colors you chose, this reminds me of like elites from Halo. Very awesome. And then from Labdog, we got the, what is this? The Teju Jaguar Lord of the Underworld or something. Hang on. Lord of
the Underground.
Hell yeah. That is an extremely colorful paint job. Contrast paints, I think. And then maybe some dry brushing. Hard to tell. Very interesting. Very horrifying. And then from Jabroni, we got the, what is this? The Ogre Dragon Priest. Very nice. Oh, look at the axe. That's cool. You've got like some verdigris stuff going on up here on the armor as well. The skin looks great. Yeah, I love the metallics. The metallics look so good. Very nice. Then from Griffin, we have a polearm drow. Awesome. Ah, super cool to see this painted up. Hell yeah. That's really striking the way you did the armor with like the purple and like the white lining on everything. That looks really good. You went with the white hair, blue skin. Very cool. And oh, look at your mushrooms. You got little lines on your mushrooms. That's amazing. Your mushrooms look so much better than mine. Hell yeah, dude. That's great. Oh, that looks really nice. Oh, and the cloak. What the fuck? Dude. Very cool. God, that's straight out of the Elder Scrolls. That's great. Oh, Frazzle Dad with an entry here. I haven't seen this one, but you know what, Frazzle Dad? I did see this one because I'm subscribed to you on YouTube and your video showed up on my homepage. So I saw the thumbnail and I was like, oh, well, I've seen it now. So I'm just going to watch that video. So I've already seen how you painted this and it was a great video. And I recommend to anyone watching, go subscribe to Frazzle Dad if you want some chill hobby vibe videos to maybe throw on in the background while you paint, or you can learn something from this guy. Really great job on this, man. I know you're learning how to do non-metallic metals at the moment, and hats off to you because that requires a ton of patience, more patience than I can muster. The like diamond effect that you've gone for here on the horns looks incredible. Really, really cool stuff. Oh, you went for a green cloak as well. Very nice. Good job. And then, yeah, I haven't seen this one yet. You also did one of the jet bikes. Very nice. And you even went in here and did the little displays on the dash. Oh, I didn't see this piece. That would have been good for me to run off. This little canopy at the back. And you've also gone with a little cloud that it sits on. Cool idea. I like that. Yeah, super cool. And yours like has electricity flying out of the engine. That's insanely cool. That is such a good effect. Nice. Yeah, and the weathering on this looks really good. And the, holy shit, look at the rust on this exhaust pipe. Dude, that looks incredible. That looks just like the underside of a car I used to have. That's great. From Fabian W, it looks like we've got some more Artificer minis. We got the Dragon Night Lord again, and what's his name? Carl von Herman. in what looks to be like a little showdown here between Vampire and Vampire Hunter. God, look at the paint job on that. Dude. Nice, that's horrifying. Hell yeah, there he is. I've come to fuck you up. And that's all of them. Alright, cool. Appreciate you all taking the time to participate in this. This is really fun. And looking forward to doing this again next month. Alright, we're going to wrap this video up here now. If you want to participate in next month's Print and Paint, we're going to have a bunch of cool models as well in March. And we're also going to start March's Print and Paint earlier. We started Feb's on the 14th, but that only gave you guys like less than 2 weeks to participate. So for March and moving forward, we're going to extend that, and I've reworked things a little bit on the back end so I can get the models sooner from the artist so that this can all work. But yeah, that's where we're at. Thanks for watching. That's the end of this video. Cheers. See you next month.